decorating made easy with Gerton's fresh spruce tip pots, expertly designed and handcrafted to add beauty all winter long. Gertons.com makes shopping online easy with your choice of delivery or curbside pickup. Gertons, your Christmas headquarters.
It's Friday night on Breaking the News, and we are on top of the two big stories of the week and the month. First, another spike in COVID-19 cases in Minnesota. So we have Kent take a look at what's going on and who is getting sick. And then the other story, the minute-by-minute changes in the presidential election. Where do we stand tonight? We bring our analyst back on to cap off the week. Then we remember a Republican lawmaker whose impact was felt far beyond the political arena. Sharon talks to a family who says Congressman Jim Ramstad changed their lives. Breaking the News starts now. Good evening. As we continue to unfortunately break records for new COVID cases in the state of Minnesota this week, Health Commissioner Jan Malcolm said we need to prepare for the potential of 4,000 positive cases a day. And unfortunately, today we went right past that with more than 5,400 new positive cases, and 36 Minnesotans lost their lives. That's also a new high. As Kent explains, this all comes at a time when we can't seem to test fast enough.
It is true that Minnesota shattered records for both new COVID cases and new tests conducted on Friday, but one record does not begin to explain the other.
Finding more cases is not just a matter of testing more. We are testing a lot more and finding a lot more than we're testing.
MDH says COVID is now growing twice as fast as testing, and that is leading to sites like this one in Robbinsdale. Those running this drive-up testing clinic say wait times have averaged 2 hours or more in recent days, causing them to cut off the line at 2:30 today. MDH is working on it, announcing a new saliva testing site at the Minneapolis Convention Center, which will open Monday, in addition to existing sites in Duluth, Winona, Moorhead, Brooklyn Park, Mankato, St. Cloud, and St. Paul. And in the coming days, MDH is launching 5 new community swab testing sites in Maplewood, Burnsville, Stillwater, Morris, and Owatonna.
We put a big push on diversifying our types of testing and our testing supplies so that we can keep growing the capacity, because clearly we need to significantly increase it from here in order to meet the demand.
They're hoping it will help catch more asymptomatic cases before they lead to more hospitalizations, at a time when many hospitals are close to the brink. On Friday morning, for the first time in the pandemic, more than 1,000 Minnesotans were hospitalized with COVID-19, and the 7-day average rate is now more than 16 hospitalizations for every 100,000 people, which is far greater than the high of 11 this spring.
ICU capacity in the Twin Cities metro area is particularly limited right now. Statewide capacity looks a little better, but that certainly can and does fluctuate at a local level, literally daily, if not hourly.
And those sudden changes in capacity are not being driven simply by how many beds are available.
It isn't just beds, it's staff to provide the level of care needed in the beds.
I think the most important message that we need to get to the public is that you have got to make changes. You know, your choices are impacting the capacity of our healthcare system to serve you and the other people that need it. And we really need people to take it seriously and to make some changes so that we can get ahead of this.
Now, what you just heard right there, that plea for people to change their habits, is critical, especially in the coming days. Now, that's because the state has already exceeded their thresholds for almost all of the certain things that they need to dial back the economy. That's been a big question this week as these cases surge. Will there be more restrictions on activity, say restaurants, bars, all of those things? It's a big question. The state doesn't want to have to do it. The governor isn't weighing in right now, but Jan Malcolm said today that they're talking about it. But the big consideration that they're making right now is that the guidelines in place right now, the masking and the distancing, doesn't seem to be bought into by a lot of Minnesotans. So adding on more restrictions, they're not so sure what that's going to do. Jana?
That's a good point. Kent, you talked about staffing levels at hospitals. We had a doctor on yesterday that said a similar thing. It wasn't just beds, but nurses and doctors and support staff there to help people who are sick. Will we have any options for support from other states like New York City got, or federal agencies to bring in more healthcare workers if we needed that?
They said it's something that they've been actively exploring, both on the government side and privately. These hospital systems are looking. There's just a big problem. This isn't a New York hotspot situation right now. Minnesota isn't the only state dealing with this. Wisconsin had even higher numbers and more deaths today. And of course, we know what they've been dealing with, and many other states. So right now, everyone's spread so thin, they can't find enough help from the outside to come in. Jenna.
That makes sense. I was checking with my family. We're from Illinois. Yesterday, nearly 10,000 cases, and they're not far from here either. So great points. Thank you so much, Kent. Well, now it is time to shift back to Decision 2020. It is coming, but obviously it's not coming like it used to. Ballots are still being counted in a few states, and that means there's plenty of changes to report just since yesterday, since this morning even. Associated Press says that Vice President Joe Biden did gain ground overnight. He is ahead ever so slightly in Georgia and Pennsylvania. Also still not called yet, Nevada, North Carolina, and some have not called Arizona. Both campaigns have their stance on the ballot counting going on right now. The president is fighting the process in some ways, and some of his supporters are protesting at counting places across the country. While former Vice President Biden reiterated today it's his belief the votes by the American people will eventually decide this election. So let's take a deeper dive. Let's pick Pennsylvania. How's it going in Pennsylvania? More than 2.5 million people mailed in their ballots there, mailed them in. President Trump's lead there is dwindling as those ballots are the ones being counted right now. So here's a timeline of what's going on there in the last few days. Early Wednesday morning, the morning after the election, President Trump had a lead of about 700,000 votes. By Wednesday night, when they started counting those mail-in ballots, the lead had shrunk to more than 180,000 votes. Just before midnight yesterday, Biden kept closing the gap, coming within just under 24,000 votes. And then this morning, Biden pulled ahead, leading by roughly 20,000 votes. There is plenty to unpack in the last 24 hours, well, the last 4 days. So we brought back political analyst Brian McClung. Brian worked in communications and as chief of staff for former Republican Governor Tim Pawlenty, and has since co-founded a bipartisan consulting firm. Brian, good evening.
Jana, it's good to keep doing this with you night after night after night.
I know. You basically are my co-anchor by this point, Brian. So what is your political mind telling you tonight, Friday night, this many days after Tuesday night, about the state of the presidential race?
Well, yeah, it's Friday night, and so in some ways it feels strange. But we should keep in mind that this is really how it works. And it's just the fact that we have so many close races in so many states, and we're all attuned to what's happening. We're sort of kind of peeling back the layers and understanding what this ballot counting is like. And the Secretary of State in Pennsylvania, for example, said in mid-October that she thought that the substantial majority of votes would be counted by the Friday after Election Day. So this is kind of where Pennsylvania thought they would be. Of course, earlier today, Pennsylvania slid over to Joe Biden's column. Georgia did the same. And so it looks like he is the presumptive winner, but they're not done counting. And so we should let the process finish, work its way through, and then we'll have a definitive answer in the not too distant future.
I actually can hear my mother, patience is a virtue, in my head every single day. So let's talk about this. President Trump and former Vice President Biden are a study in contrast the last few days, or the entire election process. They're locked in a close race, both of them for president, but they're going at it quite differently. The president making claims without evidence so far of problems with the vote, while Vice President Biden is relaxed and saying, let the vote be counted. These are totally different approaches for certain. What do you make of that?
Well, it's, I look back to 2000 and the Florida recount sort of for perspective. And of course, you remember then, all the attention in that case was just focused on one state where we have, 3 or 4 left to pay attention to in this case. But even there was a lot of the public relations and a messaging battle that was taking place, even as the attorneys were fighting things out in court, or, were in that room where people were counting and looking at the hanging chads and the dimpled chads and with the magnifying glasses. So President Trump is really pushing a public relations message. He's trying to drive what he's talking about, trying to, get those, raise concerns, raise some questions about that. And Vice President Biden is in the driver's seat. So he has the ability to kind of sit back and take hey, let's have a slow go at this. So it's not surprising to see it unfold this way. But I think right now, the president is having a hard time, articulating any specific cases of fraud where there have been issues and concerns about fraud, like in Detroit, where somebody thought they saw somebody smuggling ballots in. Well, that was a TV news photographer, and that was equipment. So all of the cases essentially have been debunked so far, but he's got to, keep the pressure on, keep making his case. And this is Donald Trump, and he's a fighter. He's going to do that as long as he possibly can.
All right, Brian, you were chief of staff for a Republican in the state of Minnesota, a Republican governor. So let's play if you were in charge of each campaign. How would you advise each candidate moving forward on this Friday night? What would you say? How would you tell them to play it?
Yeah, well, I think, for President Trump, he is his own advisor. So let's not kid ourselves. Even if, I were an advisor to President Trump, he is going to make the decisions. We have seen that he is his own campaign manager. He is his own press secretary. So he is really deciding what to do. From my perspective, I think that he should fight aggressively where he can and where he thinks there's an opportunity. If he wants to do a recount in Wisconsin and a recount's available to him, go for it. But, you have to be clear, and you have to be able to state your case and explain to the American people what's wrong and specifically what we're looking for and, what any kind of irregularities are. And for Vice President Biden, I think it's important for him to be even-handed about this. There's no reason to, do a victory dance. He has talked about running a campaign where he would be trying to bring the country together again. So I think, his best bet, and it sounds like he's planning to make a speech this evening. I think in that speech, he ought to lay out his case for where he is, but also start to talk about what he would like to do if he's sworn into office.
That makes sense, Brian. It has been a pleasure talking to you this week and going through this election process like no other. I like you, but I don't know that I want to see you again next week. It might be time to wrap this up.
We'll see. Exactly. Maybe just one more time. One more time when it's all done.
All right. I'll consider it. Thanks, Brian, so much.
You bet.
Well, staying in politics, a Republican political leader in Minnesota who forged great relationships with people on both sides of the aisle has died. Jim Ramstad touched a lot of lives while serving as a congressman. And coming up, you're going to hear from a family who shares how Ramstad's compassion changed theirs.
Warm up at Perkins with our new pot roast specials, featuring our mouth-watering pot roast stroganoff, sizzling fajita breakfast quesadilla, savory pot roast melt, and more. Home-style pot roast favorites starting at just $7.99 for a limited time at a Perkins near you. And always served safely, whether you dine in, order online, or get it to go. Nothing sweetens the season like a fresh baked pie from Perkins Holiday Bake Shop. Reserve yours today. Order now at perkinstogo.com.
Where can a healthier heart lead you? For people with heart failure taking Entresto, it may lead to a world of possibilities. Entresto is a heart failure medicine prescribed by most cardiologists. It was proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital. Heart failure can change the structure of your heart, so it may not work as well. Entresto helps improve your heart's ability to pump blood to the body. And with a healthier heart, there's no telling where life may take you. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto for heart failure. And trust your heart to Entresto.
Did you know a free checking account really can be free? TrueStone Financial's fee-free value checking has no monthly fee and no minimum balance requirement. Plus, you can get $100 cash back. Open your account today. Truestone Financial is your neighborhood credit union.
Spread joy year-round with a festive seasonal planter subscription from Simple & Grand.
We expertly design every planter to last all season long. Our charming, vibrant designs are delivered directly to your front door.
You can simply walk outside and adore them.
Order today and get the gift of a free winter wreath for your front door, complementing the look of your planters.
Simple & Grand, delivering beauty to your front door every season.
Choosing a window replacement company is tough. With middlemen involved, you could end up paying too much.
Eliminate the middlemen with Champion. Right now, buy 2 windows, get 1 free. 1 call, 1 company. Learn more at getchampionwindows.com today.
It's time for Sleep Number's Veterans Day sale on the Sleep Number 360 smart bed. You can adjust your comfort on both sides, your Sleep Number setting.
Can it help me fall asleep faster?
Yes, by gently warming your feet.
But can it help keep me asleep?
Absolutely. It intelligently senses your movements and automatically adjusts to keep you both effortlessly comfortable.
Will it help me keep up with Mom?
You got this.
So you can really promise better sleep.
Not promise, prove. It's our Veterans Day weekend special. Save $1,000 on the Sleep Number 360 Special Edition smart bed, now $17.99. Plus 0% interest for 24 months and free premium delivery when you add a base. Ends Wednesday.
A man who held office in the state of Minnesota for years has died. Jim Ramstad was a congressman for the 3rd District for 9 terms, and before that, he served in the Minnesota State Senate. There have been a lot of remembrances over the last 24 hours, including from Governor Tim Walz, who tweeted, "Few members of Congress commanded the respect and admiration of their peers and constituents that Jim Ramstad did. He was a champion for programs for addiction recovery and those in the struggle. Jim had, at one time in his life, his own battle with addiction, and his dedication to help other people really made a difference to one family that was struggling." Here's Sharon.
As a United States congressman, former Representative Jim Ramstad had the platform to change millions of lives, but the lives he touched individually are the ones that light the path to his legacy.
15 years ago, I opened Salute in Edina, and I was an assistant manager there, and Jim Ramstad and his family became regular guests.
Travis Oltman, a man who was very familiar with the natures of the hospitality business, recognized something special in Ramstad when he knew he called his restaurant staff by name. And Ramstad's openness about his own addiction meant he could trust him.
I confided in him at one point about my wife was suffering from alcoholism and struggling. And he gave me his personal cell phone number and told me if I ever needed anything to give him a call.
And the day came. Oltman's wife, Sarah, ended up hospitalized with pancreatitis. Oltman, left unsure and scared, dialed a number.
He was in the middle of his last re-election campaign, and he dropped what he was doing that day and talked to me for a while, talked to me about the process of treatment and what it entailed, and then proceeded to reach out to a friend of his who ran the retreat in Wayzata. And he called me back, and he had a bed reserved for my wife for when she got out of the hospital.
Were you thinking, this guy's not going to pick up?
Yeah, I did. He answered the phone, and I remember I could tell the activity around him. I couldn't believe he, A, answered, and B, was willing to listen and took so much time out of his day to help us out.
The Oltmans credit Sarah's 14 years of sobriety to late Congressman Ramstad. And while Oltman says it's heartbreaking to hear of his passing, it's been a true joy reading about all the other lives forever changed.
Mine wasn't the only one out there today. He touched a lot of people. I didn't know he was failing in health. And to hear that he passed away, I can only, send my condolences to his family, and I can't imagine what kind of void that leaves when someone like that leaves you.
But with each story, that void is filled. Ramstad's legacy outside of the legislature, unwavering for each and every encounter.
I don't ever want to forget it. It was a huge part of my life and my wife's and our relationship, and I just don't know where things would be if I hadn't ran into him in a restaurant and he wasn't who he was.
I don't think you'll ever forget that.
No, I don't think so.
It's the Ninja season finale on a special night.
I'm gonna win it.
She
looks unstoppable. Our first Power Tower champion.
My heart can't take it. The Ninja finale, tonight on NBC.
Monday, the Voice advisors arrive for the battles, and Gwen
What about the save? Because I didn't do that last time.
learns a new way to win.
We got a steal.
I was gonna save you. Well played.
The Voice, Monday and Tuesday on NBC.
Tackle your biggest projects with help from Menards. Get professional results with Bosch Power Tools. They're built to handle the toughest jobs. This 10-inch worksite table saw is portable and powerful. Perfect for the job site. Don't forget the blade. This 10-inch 40-tooth carbide tip circular saw blade is built for a long life. All Bosch Power Tools and accessories are 11% off now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
For 30 years, Original Mattress Factory's put our customers first, and it's no different today. We've implemented new measures to ensure your in-store and delivery experiences are safe and as comfortable as possible. All of our employees will be wearing masks, social distancing, and implementing new protocols designed to keep everyone safe. Visit your local store or originalmattress.com to experience the OMF difference for yourself. See you soon.
These are real people, not actors, who've got their eczema under control. With less eczema, you can show more skin. So roll up those sleeves and help heal your skin from within with Dupixent. Dupixent is the first treatment of its kind that continuously treats moderate to severe eczema or atopic dermatitis, even between flare-ups. Dupixent is a biologic and not a cream or steroid. Many people taking Dupixent saw clear or almost clear skin and had significantly less itch. Don't use if you're allergic to Dupixent. Serious allergic reactions can occur, including anaphylaxis, which is severe. Tell your doctor about new or worsening eye problems, such as eye pain or vision changes, or a parasitic infection. If you take asthma medicines, don't change or stop them without talking to your doctor. So help heal your skin from within and talk to your eczema specialist about Dupixent. If your financial situation has changed, we may be able to help.
A lot of folks will be heading out into the deer stand this weekend, and it's going to be pretty unusual weather-wise. Looking at very mild temperatures for this time of year, seeing highs in the lower to even middle 70s, aided by a breezy southerly wind. We'll probably see some wind headlines before the weekend is through. Sunday looking a little bit on the windy side, but we will stay on the dry side at least until Monday, before a big cold front will be knocking our temperatures back down closer to reality. Here's a look at high temperatures. What we saw earlier today, 75 in the Twin Cities, breaking an all-time record high for the day. Wilmer was just 1 degree shy of 80. Madison once again in the lower 80s. So the mild conditions will be with us at least through Sunday. But by the time we head into Monday, we have a big cold front that'll be marching in from the northwest. Colder air this weekend is going to be funneling into the high plain states, and that colder weather will be arriving on Monday. Probably starting off the day pretty warm, near 60 degrees, but a falling thermometer during the day. We'll probably see temperatures drop into the 30s by the time Monday wraps up. You're going to notice a lot more high clouds tomorrow, but again, no rain coming out of these clouds. They'll just help to filter our sunshine from time to time. Overnight lows tonight will be well above normal. 56 degrees for our forecast low in the Twin Cities. A little colder in far northwestern Minnesota, but still warmer than average for this time of year. We'll still have a chance of reaching 70 here in the metro, at least for a couple more days, both Saturday and Sunday. Falling temperatures during the day on Monday, and not to mention a pretty steady rain. Chance for some snowfall possible on Tuesday, and staying chilly from Tuesday through the rest of the week.
Joint pain, swelling, tenderness.
My psoriasis. Cosentyx works on all of this.
Cosentyx can help you look and feel better by treating the multiple symptoms of psoriatic arthritis. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting, get checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor about an infection or symptoms. If your inflammatory bowel disease symptoms develop or worsen, or if you've had a vaccine or plan to, serious allergic reactions may occur.
Watch me.
Get real relief with Cosentyx.
Christmas music is back on the air now at 107.9 FM, Minnesota's Christmas station. Cool 108. Get in the spirit now.
Arby's, 2 for $6 every day. Chicken, beef, gyros. 2 of those things for just $6. Arby's, we have the meats.
Toyotathon is on. Now's the time to get a great deal on Tacoma, RAV4, Camry, and more.
I'll take it.
I'll get this wrapped up for you. I wish I hadn't just unwrapped it.
Right now, during Toyotathon, you can get 0% APR financing for 60 months on a new 2020 Toyota Camry.
Toyotathon is on. Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
If you're hungry and you want a great deal, the $6.99 Super Slam is your perfect meal. It's pancakes, eggs, sausage, bacon, and hash browns. It's enough breakfast for dinner, and it's as good as it sounds. See you at Denny's.
Do you have dry, cracked hands from constant washing, cold weather, and hard work? Try O'Keefe's Working Hands. It's America's #1 selling hand cream for guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked hands. Also available in O'Keefe's for healthy feet. Guaranteed relief for extremely dry, cracked feet.
Bed Match, exclusively at Becker Mattress, takes the stress and confusion out of buying a bed. Our sleep specialists will recommend the best sleep solution for you from our top mattress brands like Serta iComfort and Beauty Rest Black, all at Minnesota's guaranteed lowest prices. Find your best sleep at Becker Mattress.
Christmas music is back on the air now at 107.9 FM, Minnesota's Christmas station. Cool 108. Get in the spirit now.
It's been a long week, so before we go, let's end the show with some quiet. You all have earned it. Here's a look at Minnesota from the eye of photographer Steve Massmore near 10 Mile Lake in Cass County. Sometimes the most Minnesota thing is beautiful.
Wild thing, you make my heart sing. Wild thing.
You know what I think? I think you owe us $48.50. Wild thing.
If you ride, you get it. Geico Motorcycle. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
It's game day live here at Bill and Julie's house, a fan favorite venue ever since they got gig speed internet. Xfinity gives them the ultimate home field advantage. It's their 12th man.
Hey, Amy, you want to grab a seat?
Julie, we're live.
It's game on with gig speed internet from Xfinity.
Start him, sit him, trade him.
Simple, easy, awesome. Get started with Xfinity Internet for $19.99 a month for 12 months. Plus, learn about gig speeds from Xfinity. Click, call, or visit a store today.
WeatherTech floor liners for Mom and Dad. Oh, their pet feeding system for Scruffy. Oh, and cup phone for Aunt Barb to secure her phone in her car. Hey! How did it go?
Shopping is so tough. When are you going to start yours?
I'm all done.
Make your holiday shopping easy at WeatherTech.com.
Can I borrow that?
Warm up at Perkins with our new pot roast specials, featuring our mouth-watering pot roast stroganoff, sizzling fajita breakfast quesadilla, savory pot roast melt, and more. Home-style pot roast favorites, starting at just $7.99 for a limited time at a Perkins near you. And always served safely, whether you dine in, order online, or get it to go. Nothing sweetens the season like a